So it's no secret that the only anime that I've seen is the Death Note, which makes it one, my favorite, and two, the only one that I can talk about and make videos on. If you haven't seen my last video on the Death Note, go ahead and check it out at the top right corner, but wait till after this video. Now, after watching the Death Note again, one thing I realized is that the most relatable character on the show was Misa Misa. Now, you have to say her name twice, otherwise she can look at you with weave. As I was saying, if you don't say her name twice, then she can look at you with the shin. Now, I know, you looking at this video, you looking at the title, the thumbnail, and you wondering, why is Misa Misa the most relatable character? And I'm glad you asked. So if you have an Instagram or you have a TikTok and you post regularly and your goal is not to be a content creator, you Misa. Now, you're not Misa Misa just yet, but girl, you is Misa because you're looking for validation. I think even if you are a content creator, you can fall into this category of seeking validation. If you're posting a dance, or if you're posting your food, or if you're posting your location or where you've been, all these things, look, let's be real. We do not care.
We do not care.
We do not care about the latest new hip swiveling, TikTok zesty dance that you're doing, the last meal, the last supper that you're doing. We do not care about any of that. The reason you posting that is for validation. And if you are doing that, then you just like Misa. Again, you're not Misa Misa yet. You're just Misa because you ain't upgraded to Misa Misa yet. So you're just like Misa. She wanted validation. She wanted to be seen from light. She was doing things for light so that she could be seen. If she could be useful in any way to light, then she would feel seen, right? It would give her a sense of purpose. It would give her a sense of belonging, which leads me to my next point. Girl, I can't sit like L no more. I don't know how he did that for doggone 27, 38, a whole episode. My knees hurt. He got them knees like Megan Thee Stallion. So we gonna finish this video like this. I was trying to be cute and be like L the whole video, but I feel like people today don't understand that value. Thanks to social media, I get an introspective look at a lot of peer-to-peer dynamics and relationships, and I'll give you some examples of people today not understanding their value. And if any of these sound familiar, then this video is for you. And the most relatable character in this show was Misa Misa. Here we go. If you watching this on a friend group and you're always the first one to initiate hanging out or doing something, if you're the friend that's always listening to people's problems but nobody listening to them, or if you're the friend in the group that's always contributing financially, you don't know your value. Fellas, if you are doing the majority of the pursuing, she's putting into little to no effort, and there's no reciprocity, okay, no reciprocation, you don't know your value. And you continue to pursue this woman despite these things, you don't know your value. And you, sir, are just like Misa Misa. Now, you're not Misa Misa yet. You're still Misa. So I've always wondered why. Like, why do people continue to stay or remain in these roles or in these dynamics if they're not symbiotically benefiting from them? And I feel like the answer is not black and white. It's not. It's gray. It's not as simple. Let's break it down. I feel like from personal experience and just kind of looking around and seeing what other people are going through, the reason why these relationships remain, even though not everybody is symbiotically benefiting, is because of the comfortability, right? Avoiding confrontation or getting used to the role in the group that you're in. Maybe, you have a fear of the consequences. What happens if I confront how I feel and then my friend group leaves me? There are consequences for the actions that you do. And so calling out your friends or your friends on their behavior could lead into some negative outcomes for you. And people must rather avoid that a lot because they're comfortable where they're at. And again, Misa Misa was the same way. She didn't understand her value at all. She manipulated her, used her to eliminate his pawns. He played with her feelings and entertained multiple women. And she remained loyal and faithful to Light because she herself didn't understand her value like a lot of you who might be watching this video. Y'all see the correlation? And I think she didn't understand her value because she didn't have a sense of identity outside of Light. Which leads us to the next point. Man, I am breaking this thing down, bruh. Misa Misa did not have an individual identity outside of Light Yagami. We didn't really know much about the character, to be honest, outside of what she did with Light. We knew she was famous, you know, we knew she was a star, but other than that, we didn't really know her, and she was an important secondary character. But most of the time we seen her, she was interacting with Light because that's where her identity was. And I feel like in society today, a lot of us don't have our own identities. We conform to a lot of groupthink or herd mentalities, and we do little to no research, or we don't stand alone because it's difficult to do that. I think a lot of us today are comfortable with putting our identities in something that's safe and grounded, a celebrity, a popular ideal that's widespread, a system or a government. You know, a lot of times we put our identities into these things and we conform to them, and we're scared to speak out or be individualistic because the people that do are the people that get punished. You seen what happened to Kyrie, you seen what's happening to Kanye, you see what happens to people like Candace Owens and other right-wing content creators. You see what happened to Sneeko, to Andrew Tate. These people who start thinking individualistically, they get made an example of, and it discourages other people from doing that. You see where I'm going with this, Misa? If you don't do certain things or say certain things, even though you feel a certain way because you're scared of cancellation, then I gotta say, you too are Misa. And we trying to use them Shinagami eyes on me, please. And you know, just to kind of bring this back full circle, like I said earlier, her identity was in Light. Again, we didn't really know much about Misa other than she was famous and she was loyal to Light. And it's because she didn't have an identity, right? She had no individualistic identity. And I feel like, you know, it's relatable, especially for the reasons that I listed above. And this ties in to my conclusion in all 3 points. You know, while making this video, I've kind of come to the conclusion that if you're seeking validation, oftentimes I think it comes from a place of not understanding your value. If you don't know your value, then you don't know your sense of identity, and you don't have that understanding that there are certain things that you won't subject yourself to because you know who you are. I think Misa was relatable, you know, and I could see myself in her as a character. And it broke my heart at the end when she committed suicide because she felt like she couldn't live on without Light. And I think this lack of identity is something that we see on social media, and it's becoming more and more common that it's normalized. An example that comes to mind is Blueface and Krishan Rock. Man, it's sad to see that, man, that relationship just kind of bloom in front of us, where she remains in a toxic situation because she has no identity of her own. And I don't know what's going on, you know, behind the scenes. This is just for me looking outside in. It just seems very similar to the dynamic that Light Yagami and Misa Misa had. So don't get me wrong. It's completely human to seek validation, to want to fit in, want to conform to a role. But I would just remind you, you know, to keep it balanced. Don't forsake who you are for a pair of Shinagami eyes, someone's affection, weave, or even a sweet pair of cheeks and a full suit and slacks.
This is your captain speaking.
And I'll see y'all.